Good morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you all doing?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay, so I welcome you to today's lesson. This is going to be part 3 of our training on Microsoft Word. A few days ago we started with the part 1 and we talked about word processing. And the last lesson we got an introduction into Microsoft Word itself and we just saw some of the basic features. Today I'll be continuing from that and I'm going to teach you some of the tools and commands in Microsoft Word. So if you have not watched the previous lessons, I want you to go through the videos on this channel and look for word processing and Microsoft Word part 1 and part 2. After you watch those lessons, it will be very easy for you to continue with us. So let's get onto the screen and let's begin today's lesson. All right. Now, I'd like to start by playing this short clip from Microsoft, and after that, we will just start with the lesson.
When you put words to a page, balance a budget, or share your latest idea, Office is at the center of your work. Whether you're a pro or brand new, knowing the basics helps bring your work to the next level. With the latest version of Office, Tell Me lets you ask for help in your own words.
So the last time we saw a new feature that says, tell me what you want to do. Do you remember? So that is what this man is trying to do here. So he's trying to insert something. So he's typing and Word will give some options.
Just type what you want.
So he wants to insert a column chart and so he just typed it. So sometimes if you don't know where to find what you are looking for, you can just type it in that box and you get it.
You can use Smart Art to share your ideas visually. Templates to give your documents a professional look. And charts, styles, and themes to help your pages stand out. When you're ready, you can collaborate on a document at the same time with others. Share feedback and comments, and keep track of changes while you work together to turn that drab budget into a world-class report. When you're finished, store and share your files with OneDrive so you can get to them from anywhere.
Alright, last time I also talked about OneDrive and I said it is their cloud storage. So you can save on the cloud and it can be accessible anywhere and on any device.
Explore the video courses at office.com/training and push your confidence in Office to new heights by getting back to basics.
Alright, so this is very important. We are going to continue with our training and I'm using Office 2016. We have Office 2019. We are in 2021 today, so very soon Microsoft is going to release their next version. So they release in every 3 years. So 2016, the next one was 2019. So the next one, when is it going to be? After 3 years, 3 years after 2019 is going to be what? 3 years after 2019. So 2022. So we are expecting the next version in 2022. So if you have 2013, 2016, 2019, you can still follow with this lesson and everything we are teaching can be accessible in all those versions. Now, it is important to know the versions of Microsoft Office, and the newer versions provide better experiences when you are working. And if you don't have the Office installed on your machine, Microsoft also has what we call Office Online. So you visit Office Online and you will get Office Online. You just sign in and you have it online. If you want to use Microsoft Word, you will have Microsoft Word 100% online. You just open your browser, go to Microsoft Office and look for Word Online. It's called Word Online. So we have Excel Online, PowerPoint Online, and you get the online version, and it will amaze you. It looks exactly as the offline version. Another thing you should understand is that Office also has a brand new product that you need to look into if you have not heard of it already. Office has a brand new product, and this product is the best and best of Microsoft. Microsoft has been the best in Office programs for more than 30 years. So, for several years, we've been hearing of Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, Outlook, and all these programs have been there for so many years. 30 years they were number one. Today they are still number one. We know that we have several companies who have Office programs, but none of them have been able to beat Microsoft in these Office collections. Now, if Microsoft was the best 30 years ago, and they are still the best today, imagine what Microsoft can do now with modern technology and modern engineers and everything. Today, what Microsoft is doing is way beyond what Microsoft did 30 years ago. And so Microsoft has released something we call Office 365. Office 365. If you have not heard of Office 365, you have to know about it. You have to look for it. So what we have here is called Office Suite. Apart from the Office Suite, we have Office 365. The Office 365 is also a collection of Office programs, but it includes over 30 different programs that are used to grow businesses. So different programs in Office 365. I'm sure by the time we finish with this training, I will introduce more of Office 365 to you. And it has new programs that you've not heard of. I'm sure you've heard of PowerPoint, Access, Outlook, Publisher, Word, Excel. These are some common programs in the Office suite. In the Office 365, all these programs are parts, but they are new programs. New programs. New programs that are so good and way better than any Office program you have seen. Yes, so I need to let you know about that. And as students who want to do well and you want to succeed in your careers, you need to understand some of these things. So as you learn Office, you need to move to Office 365. Now, one thing about Office 365 is that Office 365 is updated in real time. If you use Office 365, you don't have to wait for 3 years before you get the latest Office. It is updated in real time. That means every day you have the new features. So with Office 365, they don't release it. It is used as a service, a licensed online service that you just use, and it's updated every day. Now, after 3 years, then they release the offline standalone version. So what we are using is a standalone version, but if you have the Office 365, you have access to everything every day. So you should look at it. There are so many programs. I will talk about some of them. One of the programs I will just play a clip on because I have it is one program called Teams, and Teams is part of the Office 365 programs. There are so many programs, so many programs. I'm sure I will show them to you before we finish with this training. We have, I don't want to start now. There are so many programs. Have you heard of Yama? Okay, so I'm just giving you one for you to know that there are programs you've not heard of, but these are amazing programs, interesting programs from Microsoft that will help you grow your business and produce documents and run your company in a much better way. So look for Office 365. It's called Office 365. Let me look for this clip and play it for you to see one of the programs. So this is an advert on one of the programs called Microsoft Teams. So let's watch this.
Every individual is different, and so is the case with every team. As we think about productivity, we think about people and teams of people and what they can achieve and accomplish
This is the CEO of Microsoft.
together. It's core to our mission of empowering every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. There is no universal tool for teams, but rather a universal toolkit that we call Office 365.
So he said there is no universal what? Okay, but they have created a universal tool and a collection of programs that they call what? So this Office 365 is a new collection of programs you need. If you want to be modern, if you want to grow your business, this is what you need. Office 365 has all the Office applications we know, but they have way more amazing products.
And today, we're adding a new tool and an experience to Office 365. Microsoft Teams, a chat-based workspace.
So Microsoft Teams is one of the programs they are adding to Office 365 because Office 365 is a collection. Now, Microsoft doesn't want to be introducing new programs and be selling them separately. If you have Office 365, you have everything Microsoft wants to give out. So all their programs are put together in Office 365. All their office productivity programs are put together. So anytime a better product comes, they just add it. So if you are part of Office 365, you get all that.
Microsoft Teams delivers on 4 core promises to create a digital workspace. Chat for today's team, a hub for teamwork, customization options, and the security that teams trust. Teams is an entirely new experience. It brings together people and conversations and content, along with the tools that teams need so they can easily collaborate to achieve more.
Hi everyone. So I have been living in Microsoft Teams for a while, and it is so nice to be able to finally share this broadly. Now within the team, we have the idea of open conversation channels, so anyone on the team can jump in and join the conversation. The key here is that these are high velocity and highly collaborative in nature. So let's dive into the Art and Media Festival channel and take a look at the team chat experience.
We're also seeing a ton of enthusiasm from customers. Andrew, why don't we start with you?
Teams is going to be huge.
It's going to be big.
With the persistent chat, they can see anything that's transpired while they were away. It really has snowballed. It really become viral across our language environment.
So customer service is central to what we do as an airline. And that means giving the right set of tools to be able to service customers in the best possible fashion.
We can use this to increase productivity and creativity.
It's that cockpit which I think is going to change the team experience.
Starting today, Microsoft Teams is available as a customer preview in 181 countries, localized in 18 different languages.
So Teams was added in 2016, and
This is an experience that truly empowers every team.
it is called Microsoft Teams. The way we have Microsoft Word, we also have Microsoft Teams. And it's all under Office 365 from Microsoft. Did you see that? All right. So that is it. Let me play one more clip and I'll start my lesson.
No matter which career path you intend to pursue, the goals you set out to achieve, the job title you might earn, or the legacy you will leave, Microsoft Proficiency is a valuable skill that will make you shine in a crowd of applicants.
This video is saying that Microsoft Proficiency is what you need. You have to be proficient in Microsoft Office programs. That means you have to know them well and be very familiar with them. Be good at Microsoft Office programs because it will make you shine. These programs will make you shine. You need them. You need Excel, you need Word, you need PowerPoint, you need Access. You need to understand how to use Outlook. If you've never heard of Outlook, you need to study it. I'm sure I'll do a video on Outlook, so you can watch on this channel.
With more than 13 million potential workforce candidates and more than 400,000 jobs requiring Microsoft expertise in the United States, Microsoft certifications give people the power and the tools to chart their own course, fulfill their ambition, and realize their full potential. In fact, staffing agencies report candidates with certifications are 50% more likely to be hired full-time and receive an average of 10 to 15% higher wage. 91% of hiring managers consider employee certification as a criterion for hiring. 85% of supervisors report that certified employees are more productive and require less supervision. 86% of hiring managers say IT certifications are a priority. 89% are more satisfied at work. And Microsoft Office was the leading software package called out within the top 20 skills across representative occupations, coming in at number 3 on the IDC research list. These are just a few statistics that validate that Microsoft certifications give you the tools to build a brighter future. Start creating your own path and prepare yourself for a successful career with industry certifications that are globally recognized and the only certifications with Microsoft's stamp of approval. It's not just about getting the job. It's about enjoying the job.
It's not just about getting a job, it's about enjoying your job. You enjoy your job when you are proficient in Office. You enjoy your job when you know how to use Microsoft Word very well. So today we want to learn how to use Microsoft Word, and I want you to finish watching all the videos we release on Microsoft Word, because I'm going to take my time and explain everything to you for you to understand it well. So let's get right into the program. And if you want to start Microsoft Word, you can look for it on your desktop if you have it. So I think I have Microsoft Word right here on my desktop, Word 2016. And if you don't have it on your desktop, you can find it by clicking on the start button here. You click on the start button and you look for Word. I think I have it here. I've pinned it on start. If you have not pinned it, you will not see it here. If you have not pinned it, you need to go through your programs and look for Word. I think if you have the 2016, they just call it Word, so you find it here, Word. If you also want to use a run box, you press Windows R, and in Windows R you need to type WinWord and press enter, and Word will start. So I'm going to do that. I hit enter. We see the splash screen. This is a splash screen, then the welcome page. So this is a welcome page, and the last time we came here and we talked about starting a blank document, opening an already existing document, or working with templates. So these are some of the templates I opened the last time. Alright, so today I'm not starting with a blank document like we did. I want to open the work we started working on the last time. So if you find it in your recent, over here I see recent. So under recent you can find some of the programs or documents. You can find some of the documents you have already opened. If you can't find what you are looking for here, then you have to come and click on this. This is when this particular command button will be used. What does it say? Open. So when you click on open, another page or window will open here, and it can also show you your recent documents and recent folders, and also will give you this particular option to do what? To browse. So I think I'm going to use this. to browse. So when I click on browse, the open dialog box will show, and with this open dialog box I can browse for what I'm looking for. This is similar to the save dialog box we saw the last time. This one says open, it doesn't say save. So when you look here, what do you see? Open. It doesn't say save as. The other one was save as. All right, so I can use it the same way by browsing for my file. Last time I saved it on my bootcamp C. I saved it in AHI, I saved it in lectures, I saved it in level 1, I saved it in module 2, I saved it in word processing, I saved it in Microsoft Word project, I saved it in classworks, and this is my file. Please, have you seen it? So you saw how I was able to browse my computer to locate the file I'm looking for. So I found it. So after finding it, I click on it first. I've selected it, then I'll come and click on open. If you don't want to do that, you can double click on it right here. So I will click on it and come and click open. So I click open and it will show the work to you. So if you remember from the previous lesson, we can see our work here, and this is exactly what we did the last time and where we ended. So if you have not seen this, if you don't understand how we got here, watch the other lessons. All right, so we were just going through the home tab to look at some of the tools and features here, and we talked about the font group and we saw the clipboard group. We'll come back here. Today I want to talk a little bit about the fonts group and the paragraph group, and if possible I also talk about the styles group, and when I finish we will just start working on our letter. We want to work on a letter, an official letter. All right, so we saw this and we said this one is for what? Bold. So if you want to make something bold, let me look for something. This what? If I want to make it bold, I can find it here. Now in Office 2013 or 2016, when you highlight something, you'll see that it will, this particular pop-up will help you to apply your formatting. So instead of traveling up here to get it, it is the same thing here. So after you highlight, it will just pop up. So if that's what you want, you just use it right here and it makes your work faster. Now, did you see how I highlighted this word? If you want to highlight a word, a single word, you don't have to click and drag through to highlight. If it is a word, you just have to double click on the word and you have it. Double click. So you have to be used to that. You saw that I didn't try dragging because I know and I'm used to it. I just double clicked on it. So these are some of the things you do to be proficient in Word. I told you that if you want to highlight a whole line, move backwards and click, and that will select the whole line. If you want to highlight a word, just double click on the word. Okay, we'll talk more about highlighting later. So bold is right here. When I click on this, it is now bold. Do you see the difference? It is now bold. Then the next one is what? Italics. So it will italize your word for you. Do you see the difference? It has italicized the word for us. All right. Let me type something here so that we will use it for the next explanation. So we have, what is cyber security? All right, so what is cyber security? If I want to underline cyber security, we have already talked about underline. Over here, I don't get the arrow to choose a different types of underlining. I can just underline. But the last time I told you that we have an arrow next to the U that can give you different forms of underlining styles. Do you understand? Okay, so I can use wave underline or any other form I want. Let's continue. So let me check the next feature. We talked about strike through, subscript, superscript. This is for some text effects, and this is for highlighting the font color. Did we talk about font color? Okay, we did a little, but let me use it again. So cybersecurity here, I want to color it. I can find it here. Now, this particular command here is font color. It is not a highlighter or a shading. In Microsoft Word, when you have text, you can apply these three coloring to them, but you need to know what each one does. This one is just highlighting text. It's not used for shading background. Shading background is this. So remember this, anytime you want to do shading, this is what you use. But if you want to color your text, look for the one with the letter A. That one is font color. When you click on that, your text will be colored. So let me bring this right here and click on this A. Now you can see that there's one color already selected. Can you see that? So when you click on A, you will get that color. So that's what I have here. But if you want a different color, then you use an arrow next to it and you find a different color. So if you want to give it a different color, you can choose a different color right here. Later, we'll talk more about colors and other coloring effects. We also talked about increasing font size, reducing font size, and changing the case. Please, I hope you remember. We also talked about increasing the size with this or using the decrease and increase from here. Usually, I like these two. But with these two, anytime you click, it changes the size here based on the next on the list. So the next on the list is what? What's the next one? 22. I'm on 20 now. So I'm on 20 now. So when I click here, the next one is what? 22. Next one, 24. What if 24 is bigger than what I need? And I want 23. So if that is the case, then you have to come here, click here, and type 23. So you can change your font size by typing the exact size you want. Sometimes you need your size to be very specific, but when you change with that increase and decrease, you don't get exactly what you want. And when you check through the list, you still don't get what you want. So what do? You can just come here and type. So if I want a specific size, I'll just type it right here. For example, let me click here. I'll get 24, 26, 28, 36. From 28, they jump to 36. 48. Oh, come on. So what if I want 40? I'll just click here and type 40 and press enter. Good. So I have it in size 40. All right. Now, this is the font itself. And we learned that font is also known as a typeface, and it is a different style of writing. So the style we have here is the Calibri, the famous Calibri. If you don't like this style, Calibri, you can choose a different font. So to change the font, you have to click on this arrow and look for a type you want. So don't choose a font that is overused, like Monotype Cursiva is overused. Monotype was famous 30 years ago. Today, Monotype Cursiva is not famous. It's boring. So don't choose boring fonts. Choose fonts that are new and make your work look great. Now, with Microsoft Word, we will not do a lot in fonts because we will always be working on Office documents. So for Office documents, make sure your work looks simple. Yes, so when we get to designing programs, then you can use stylish fonts. So here, unless you are creating something and you need some stylish font, then you can choose a stylish font. If not, just stick to the Calibri and the Cambria. Calibri is used for bodies. Calibri light is also used for heading. Then we also have Cambria. Cambria is also used for heading. Times New Roman was a famous font in, 30 years ago. 30 years ago, Times New Roman was the most popular font. Today, Times New Roman, even though it looks nice, Times New Roman looks nice. This was the official font for Microsoft when they started. But when they changed to DocS, they stopped using this because it has become a cliche. People have seen it over and over, and it's quite boring these days. So you can use something else apart from Times New Roman. But if you still want it, you can use it. Alright, so today just stick to your Calibri if it is part of the body. If it is a heading, Microsoft will choose Cambria or Calibri Light for you. So just stick to that. With Office documents, make sure your font is always simple. We don't use fancy font for Office documents. If you do that, it will be a terrible mistake. All right, let's move on. So over here we have the paragraph group. Last time we talked about tabs and groups, right? So this is this a tab or a group? This is a group. So let's talk about a paragraph group. And when it comes to formatting your documents, your paragraph group will be the most important group you will be using to make sure your arrangements are okay. So I want you to pay close attention to the paragraph group and understand every little thing in the paragraph group, because you'll be using it to arrange your documents, and it's one of the most important. So when you are doing your formatting, you work with paragraph, you also work with font, but you need to be an expert in this paragraph. All right, so let me talk about the paragraph group. Let me move to a new page, page 2. So please watch this. All right, so I want to move to page 2. Microsoft Word can give you as many pages as you want. To move to page 2, my test cursor is here. This is my cursor. Do you see the cursor blinking? That is where I am. So if I want to move, I will break the line by pressing enter. This is called line break. Break the line. Am I still on page 1? Okay, I will know whether I'm on page 1 from the status bar. The status bar here says page 1 of what? And I have used 32 words. So on your status bar, you will actually know what is happening. If you have several pages, the way to find out is just to check the status bar and you will know. So this is where my test cursor is. I'm still on page 1. I can press enter, 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 and when it gets to enter, 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 and we want to get to the end of the margin. Do you see this margin? Let me click on this and you see a line showing. This margin is something else I will talk about. So you really need to understand the margins here. Without these margins, you cannot really arrange documents the way you want. So Microsoft will give you some default margins. So when you are starting your document, it starts here. And this is the top margin to show where your document starts from. Then your bottom margin is here to show where your document ends. Please, are you following? To show where your document ends. Without the margins, you are going to be typing at the edge of the paper. When you print, your writing will be at the edge. If you receive a letter and the letter starts from the top edge of the letter of the paper, will you be happy? Okay, so it needs to go into the paper a little. That is called a margin. So it is a margin that is used to set that. So we have a top margin, That shows that no matter what you want to do, this is where you start from. Now, later we'll learn how to adjust them. If I don't like it, I just click on it and drag it up to create more room. Knowing how to do this alone will save you a lot. Sometimes you have a document and you want it to be on one page, but it is giving you one page and 2 lines on the next page. How do you solve that? You just have to adjust the margins, either the top or the bottom margin. So the bottom margin can also be adjusted. So we'll talk about margins later. We also have the left margin here, and these left margins come with these indents. We'll talk about these ones. These ones here, we'll talk about them. We have the first line indent here, and we have another one over here. Now the margin is where the shading is, so I can target it, and if I want to adjust the margin, I can open the letter to the left, and also if I want, I can open it to the right. Understanding this means a lot. We'll talk about it again. Now I want to move to page 2. My text cursor is here, my margin is here, and I want to continue, so enter, 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 enter. I think I've gotten to the end, so the next enter I press will jump to the next page. Let's see it. So now I'm on page 1. When I press enter again, now I see that I'm on page 2 now. Please, do you get me? Okay, so now you see that I'm on page 2 of what? 2 of 2. 2 of 2 means you have 2 pages and you are currently on the second page. Now I have 2 pages, but let me go and do something on the first page. This is still the first page. When I click here and I check my status bar, what will it say? Page 1 of 2. That means I have 2 pages, but I'm currently on which page? The first page, page 1. Alright, so I taught you how to move to page 2. If you want to create page 2, all you need to do is to press enter. But listen to me, as an expert, you don't have to be pressing enter every time. As an expert, you don't have to be pressing enter every time. Now, I talked about line break, right? Line break is when you press enter to move to the next line. There's something called page break. If you want to move to page 2 and you want page 2 to be separated from page 1, you don't have to use a line break, you have to use a page break. Sometimes your page 2, you will want your page 2 to be separated from page 1. Let's take an example. Let's say you are working on a document like a document with several chapters, and you finish with chapter 1 and you are moving to chapter 2. Your chapter 2 should have nothing to do with the content on chapter 1. Your chapter 2 should be separated. Listen to me carefully. Now, do you see that I'm on page 2 now, right? I'm going to type something on page 2, and I will type what is computer networking. Please, have you seen this? I'm on page 2, right? Now, because of the line break I did in page 1, if I come back to page 1 and I click on one of the lines over there, so when I click on one of the lines on page 1 and I press backspace, watch what will happen. When you press backspace, you will see that the text you put on the page 2 has joined the page 1. The reason is that it is just following the page 1. It has just been separated by lines. What if we don't want page 2 content to have anything to do with page 1? In that case, we use what we call page break. When you use page break, page 2 will not have anything to do with page 1, and your page 1 will not have several unused lines under it. all these lines I created here, I think they are just useless. They are not there for anything. And if you will not use all these lines, there's no way, there's no reason creating it. If you are typing on page 1 and the page is full, the text will automatically move to page 2 by itself. That means page 2 is following page 1. But if you are typing something and you want to leave this wide space before, you want to leave this wide space and create a second page, it means you want a separate page. If you want a separate page, we don't press enter to get a separate page. That is wrong. We use a page break. I'll show you where to find a page break, and I'll show you the shortcuts for page break. All right, now I'm on page 2. Let me move to the next page, page 3, to create something else on page 3. Now, to move to page 3, let me go to the Insert tab and show you something here. Please, what do you see here? Page break. And the current page here and move to the next page. This is used when you want to move to a new page, but you don't want the new page to have anything doing with the first page. I'll explain that. So I'm going to click on this. Now let's check the status bar. It says page 2 of what? 2. So when I click page break, it will break the line, and now it will take us to page what? Page 3. Now we have 3 pages. This is the 3rd page. Let me put something here. Let me put something here. Have you seen what I have here? Let me move up and go to page 2. Now, if I start working on page 2, let's say I'm doing a lot of work on page 2, and it's about to get to the next page. Please watch this. You'll see that the page 3 is just there. See that it's not moving down. Did you see it move down? Okay, watch something. So whatever I do here, the page 3 will still not mind the page 2. Do you see that it's still there? Now watch what will happen when my work crosses to the next page. Just watch. Did you see that my work has crossed to the next page? So when you are typing something and your page is full, it will automatically move to the next page. But watch what happened. That 3rd page moved itself to a new page. It's now on page what? 4. So it has nothing to do with the pages above. Whatever you do on the other pages, the structure on that page will be maintained. So imagine you have a new chapter there. You don't want what the editing you are doing at the top to affect your page layout. Let me go up and show you something. This is important. Now, you remember our page 1. Imagine we finish our document and we want to make some changes. And also assume that we have already arranged our page 2 and we don't want anything to change. And our document has 15 pages. Watch this. When I come here and I decide to add a new title here. And this new title, let me give it a title header with underline. And I want to add some content here. I just want to insert some content. Watch what happened down there. You see that it has pushed what I had down. Did you see that? Let me go back a little and show you what. Let you see it. Well, let me zoom out a little. Okay, watch this. If you remove something on the previous pages, it affects what's on the next page. Did you see the next page move? When you clear a space, it moves. This is bad if it's supposed to be separate. Watch this. If we add things here, I'm adding something here, you see that it is pushing it down. Can you see that it's pushing it down? Why should it do that? Because we use a lot of line breaks. Enter, 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 enter. So because of those line breaks, that is why it is pushing it down. And this will disturb your work if you have several pages under that you don't want their structure to change. By doing this, if my document has 15 pages, you will see that some of the content will move to a new page called page 16. And the arrangement of everything I have carefully done will change. If you don't know about page break will create a new page, and that page will be separated from the previous pages. There's no way it will come and join the content on the new page, even if you are removing stuff on the previous pages. It will not move. This one, you see that the next is moving. It's moving, and if you remove too much, it will actually come and join that page. This is bad. There's a difference between line break and page break. Let me give you the shortcuts for page break. So let's say I'm here now. I'm done with this page. I want to move to the next page. The shortcut is press Ctrl and Enter. Ctrl and Enter. If you are using Mac, you press Command and Return. Ctrl Enter. So Ctrl Enter will give me a new page. Keep this in mind. Ctrl Enter will give me a new page. And that page will be separated from the previous page. So from here, if I want a new page, Ctrl Enter. You see that I've jumped to a fresh page. So this is what we call page break. Page break is very useful. You break your page when you want a fresh page that is separate from the previous pages. And your formatting will be maintained no matter what happens on the previous pages. That does not mean you will never have to press Enter several times to create a page. When you are working on a document and you need to use Enter, you will know it. When you become proficient in Word, you yourself will know that this time I need Enter. When you need a page break, you yourself will know when to use your page break. So I said the shortcut for page break is what? Hold Ctrl and press Enter. If you have your computer, do that for me right now. Hold Ctrl and press Enter. Please, have you seen that? Do it 5 times. Can you see that? Now press Enter several times to create a new page. Don't use Ctrl Enter this time. Press Enter several times to create a new page. Now you see the difference. Good. So Enter will create a new page in a different way, and your page break will create a new page in another way. To move on to my paragraph group, I'm going to create a fresh page. So I'll press Ctrl Enter, and I'll have my fresh page to show you what I want to show you on the paragraph group. All right, so let's move to the paragraph group here. And the first option we see here says align what? And it also has a shortcut. So Microsoft will give you all the shortcuts. Word will give you all the shortcuts you need. So align left. So if I want to align text to the left, I use this. Now it's already selected. The reason why it's selected is that, well, it's already selected. That means whenever I type, I see left. It comes from the left. Whenever I type, it types on the left side. So let me try something here. My cursor is at the left side of the page. So I want to type something here, like let me put Microsoft Office Suite. Now you can see that it is on the left. Let's see the next option. The next option says, let me put a mouse on it. So when you place your mouse on it, it will show you a pop-up, and the pop-up will give you information. So this tooltip or screen tip is saying that this is center, right? And the shortcut is what? Control E. Now, if I want to move a text to the center, I need to highlight it. Let me zoom out and click on it. So you see that it has moved to the center. So this is center. So sometimes you need to put something in the center. So if you need to do that, then you have to use center. Let's say you have a title of a document. The title sometimes needs to come to the center. Other times has to be on the left. Please are you with me? Okay, so the next option here says align what? Align right. So let me zoom out. This is align right. So when you have some text and you want it to move to the right of the page or the paper, you click on align right and it moves to the right. Please have you seen that? But we don't start writing from the right because it is the Arabs who write from the right. So if you are not an Arab or an Israeli, Israel also writes from the right to the left. So if you see those texts, you read from right. So if you see a text and you try reading from left, you disturb yourself. Already the alphabets, you don't know them, they are strange to you, and you are also trying to read from the left. That means you are completely lost. So they read from right to left, and it's fun. It's fun. We start reading from the left. That is why it starts from the left. All right. So that is fine. Let's see the next one, which says justify. Justify is used when you have a lot of text that you want to arrange in a block way. So let's say we have a lot of text here. So we have a lot of text. Let me copy and paste this here. Okay, now if you have a document with several with a lot of text like this, you see that it doesn't look very good because the right side is not in line or not aligned. Look at how the left side is aligned. The left side is well aligned. Can you see that? But the right side is not aligned well, and it doesn't make the document look very professional. So to solve that, what you need to do is to justify it. So to justify, remember to highlight your text. To do everything or anything, you need to highlight. So let me go to justify and show you. So this is called justify. I've already talked about it. Let me zoom out and click on it. Now watch what will happen. When you click on it, you see that it justifies the left and the right side. Can you see that? Does it look better? It looks much better. So this is what we mean by justify. When you read the newspaper, you see that they have justified the text. If not, it wouldn't look good. When you are reading your Bible, you see that the texts are justified. So this is justify, and you have to highlight first and apply it. Usually we apply justify to the main body of the document. If it's a letter, don't apply justify everywhere. No, only where the main body of the letter is, because you don't want your address. For example, if you have an address to the right, you can't change it to justify because it will move to the left. So you only highlight what you want to justify and you apply justify. If you have long lines of text, you highlight all of them and you apply justify to them. Okay, this is very important. Okay, good. Let's continue. The next option I have here says line and paragraph what? Line and paragraph spacing. When it comes to formatting your document, this can be one of the most important features in Word that will help you arrange your document the way you really want. The way you really want. So pay close attention to line and paragraph spacing. If possible, spend a lot of time understanding line and paragraph spacing, because this is a secret to getting your document to look the way you want. If you don't understand line and paragraph spacing, your document can disturb you. You want it to look one way, but it's looking another way. You want to change it, but it's not changing. The secret may be this: line and paragraph spacing. Now, you heard that the name is line and paragraph spacing. It's not just line spacing. We have line spacing and paragraph spacing. So when I click on it, I'll see the first set here. These are called the line spacings. And the line spacing, they will give you more options here when you go to line spacing options. But you see a line separating it. If you can't see, check on your computer. You see that, click on it on your computer and see. You see that there's a line separating the two. Okay, so after the line spacing options, what do you see? And what? Now, the add space and remove space before or after paragraph, they are very dynamic. It doesn't mean every time you see add space at the top or all the time you see remove space at the bottom. No. Sometimes at the top you see remove space before paragraph. Sometimes the down one you will see add space after paragraph. Just that the top one is before paragraph, the bottom one is after paragraph. Sometimes it is add space, sometimes it is remove space for before, sometimes it is remove space, other times it is add space for the after. So these two, you need to know how to control them very intelligently. If you can control these two well, you can get your document to look exactly how you want it to look. Okay. Now, what do we mean by line spacing? Line spacing is very common. You see that, watch this line here, there's some small space before the next line shows. Okay, so the spacing I have here, let me just highlight this and go and check the spacing they applied. Okay, I don't see, but I think this is what they applied. Let me see. Okay, or they use one. No, this is strange. All right, so they've not selected any of them. Usually for modern documents, your document should be in 1.15 line spacing. In the olden days, we were using 1 line spacing or 2 or 1.5. We're using 1 or 1.5. I remember 1.5 a lot. Today we don't use 1.5 that much for documents because it looks too much. So 1.15 is okay. Now watch this. If I select 1.15, what I get is a spacing between the lines. If I move to 1.5, you see that the spacing, it has created more spaces. If I move to 2, you see that what I highlighted has more spaces. Now if you have text that someone is reading and the spaces are too much, they look separate from each other, so it's not fine. It doesn't look good when they are reading. So 1.5 is even too much. 1.15. So if you have text that the lines are together, 1.15 is just the best line spacing to use. Let me highlight again. Now they have selected 1.15 because that's what I chose. So let me highlight everything here and give it 1.5 and see. So at first we used to use 1.5 to separate our text, but 1.5 sometimes it looks too much. It's like the separation is too much. So instead of using 1.5, these days the best option is 1.15 for the line spacing. So you know what line spacing is. Line spacing is for the spaces between the lines. So 1.15 is just okay. All right. Let me explain the add space before paragraph and add space after paragraph, because that is where the main work is when you want to arrange your document the right way. Okay. Microsoft Word automatically adds some spaces before and after your paragraphs. Now, you have to understand again that this part is not talking about lines, but it's talking about what? Paragraphs. The top parts here are for lines. Now, if you don't like any of the lines they are giving you, you can click here to get more options and choose your own line. You can type your own line here. So if you want your line to be in a specific way, you can come here and type that you don't want 1.15, you want 1.18. So you can type it over here, and there are more settings here to allow you get the spacing you want. Later in advanced classes, we will look at all these things very well. Okay, so I'm talking about the paragraph spacing. And I said Microsoft automatically adds paragraph to your text. And because they add paragraph automatically, sometimes you may need it, other times you may not need it. So you need to know how to remove and how to add when you need. Okay. Do you see this text here? They are all together as a paragraph. Are you with me? The text we have here, they are all together as one paragraph. But how come, why is it that this paragraph is separated from this paragraph? I didn't create a separation. You see this, everything is together as a paragraph, right? And it is separated from this paragraph. Can you see that? Good. I didn't create that separation. So Microsoft automatically detects new paragraphs and they give you some spacing. Let me move there. Watch this. If I click here and I use my down arrow key on my keyboard, I press down, down, down. From here, the next line moves into the next paragraph. So I didn't create any space myself. If I wanted to create my own space, this is what I'll do. I'll break the line here by pressing enter. And so when I'm moving down, 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 I'll see the cursor on a new line before getting to the next paragraph. This is when you break your own space. Now, when they give you paragraph spacing and you break your own space, the space becomes too much. So you need to know how to remove their spacing if you have to, or use their spacing. Over here, the spacing they are giving me is just perfect. So I need to maintain the spacing they are giving me. But what if I want to put my own space there? For example, I want to create a subtopic here, and my subtopic, I want it a little bit separated from this. So I press enter. But after pressing enter, I realize that the gap is too much. So I need to change something, or I need to close them up a little. When I remove the enter I applied, I see that they are too close now. So what do I do? To solve that, I need to use my paragraph spacing over there. So let me zoom in and highlight this line. You see that when I highlight this line, there's some space under the text. Can you see this? The space under the text is what we are talking about. This space can disturb you if you don't know where it comes from and how to control it. It will disturb you a lot. That is what we are learning about. Because if you want to arrange your document well and you highlight the line, watch this line. Look at the line on top here. Do you see the spacing there? It's not there. Watch this one. Do you see the spacing under? Because they have seen that you've gotten to the end of the paragraph. The spacing here is normal. Watch the spacing here. Okay, we'll check it again and I'll show you. But over here, you see that the spacing here is too much. So this is why this place the gap looks too wide. So I need to clear this space under here. This is called remove space after paragraph. So I need to go back here, click here, and come and check. I'll see that I have to click here to remove space after. This is what I want you to understand. Remove space after paragraph, add space before paragraph, or remove space before paragraph. These two, you need to understand them very well, because these two can be the only thing that will make your document look the way you want. Your document should not force itself to look the way it wants. You have to make your document look the way you want. So I'll click on remove space after paragraph, and you see that the space is gone. Now, why is it that the gap is still wide? It looks quite wide. Okay, it is because the new line I want to create, or I created here, where my cursor is blinking, also has that automatic spacing. You see that when I highlight the line, the spacing is added to it. Look at where my line is supposed to end. It's supposed to end under the text cursor. Do you see where it's blinking? But when I highlight, it highlights additional spaces under it. This is what is causing the problem. Sometimes you have a document and you want the document to fit on one page, and you are trying to create just a small space, but this thing here is adding unnecessary spaces. So I said, because it comes automatically, most of the time it will show when you don't need it or where you don't need it. So your job is to really understand it and know how to clear it when you don't need it, and add when you need. So when I highlight this, I see space under it. I'll come here, click here. Let's see what will happen. Remove space. Okay, immediately I put my mouse on it. It's now gone. So my document is looking better, the way I want. Now, do you see this subtopic? It is separated from this. I didn't create a separation. The separation was created automatically. It was created because of it was created by the paragraph spacing. So if I want these two to be a little closer, let me apply some styling to it to show that it's a topic. If I want these two to be much closer than it is, if you want it this way, you can leave it. But if you want it to be much closer, you need to highlight it, and you see that it has a space under. So this space under, even though we call it paragraph spacing, it will show anytime you type on a new line. So this is not a paragraph, this is just 2 words, but it has applied it. So if I don't need it, I need to remove it. So I'll highlight it, remove space after paragraph. You see, when I removed it, the text came under it. So if this is how I want my document to look, now I have it. This paragraph spacing is disturbing sometimes because it shows automatically, and you need to detect it fast and remove it when you don't need it. Okay, now it is a very important feature in Microsoft Word because when you have paragraphs, the paragraphs need to be separated. So Microsoft created it for the purposes of paragraphs. Like over here, it is working perfectly. Without it, see, let me highlight all of this, or let me highlight up to here and remove the space and see. You see that it doesn't look nice. The first paragraph is joined to the next paragraph and it doesn't look good. Let me undo. Now it looks better with the paragraph spacing. So paragraph spacing are important, but they are important only for paragraphs. They work best for paragraphs, sometimes for titles. Let me give heading 1. Later I'll look at what heading 1 is. Sometimes for titles. Other times they are not. Like this one, watch this. I've created my title with a heading 1 style. Later I'll talk about these styles. And you see that the heading 1 style doesn't come with a space after paragraph. But this time I want it. I don't want to come here and press enter to create a new space. Or I don't want to be here and press enter to create a space. This is not what I want. Let me undo. For my document to look okay, I need just some small space, and I know that the secret is adding space after that paragraph or that line. So this time I am not removing, this time I need it. So I'll highlight it, go there, and it will not say remove space this time. What is it saying? So now I will add space. So this space I'm adding is just perfect for my work. It's making my work look okay because I need it. So sometimes you need the space, sometimes you don't need it. So you have to know when you need it and when you don't need it. If you need it, you add it. If you don't need it, you go and you see remove, you remove it. So remember this paragraph spacing. Okay, sometimes the space is before, sometimes the space is after. Let me come here and highlight this. Let me check whether there's a space before. So I click here. If I see remove, then there's a space. There's no space there. Okay. All right. So we'll be seeing the remove space and add space. That is something you need to understand. If you have any question, you can ask me about the line and paragraph spacing, because if you don't understand just that, you can never get your document to look the way you want. Never. You can never finish a document and be satisfied with your formatting. If you don't understand line and paragraph spacing, you will never enjoy Microsoft Word. So you need to pay attention to the line and paragraph spacing and understand it. Any question? Okay, so let's continue and try and finish with the home tab today, and after that we will close and continue next time. All right, so I'll move on to the next item, and what I have next on the paragraph, in the paragraph group, is the shading. We've already talked about shading. This is the main tool to use when you want to shade your background color or give a background shading. This is not about a page background, but a background of a line. If you want to shade a background, so if I highlight this Microsoft Office line and I want to shade the background, I will come here and choose a color. Let me choose a very light color, and the color I use will affect the background. So this is for shading. If you are in a table and you want to shade a certain row, this is the best tool to use for shading rows in tables. You want to shade certain cells or columns, this is the best tool to use. So I use this most of the time when I'm working with tables in Microsoft Word. I use this to do my shadings, and it works very well. All right, so this is different from the text color or the font color. This is font color. This is different. This is font color, and this is highlighter. So you have to know the difference. If you want to color your text, remember the A here. That's what you use to change the text color or the font color. This is for the background. All right, that is good. The next tool we have here is for borders, and borders is very important for you to know how to use it, because it helps you to create borders and control borders. So let me move to a new page, Control Enter. You remember the page break? That's what I've done here. Let's say I want to start a new topic on software engineering, and let me highlight it and give it a font size. Okay, let me make it a heading 1. We'll be talking about heading 1 soon. I make it heading 1, and I want to draw a full line under this software engineering. This is not an underline. Watch what I mean. So when I come here and I click on this arrow, usually you use the arrow here to show you all the options before you choose. The first one says what? Bottom border, and we also have what? Then right border, no border. Remember, no border, all border, all border. So you'll be using all of these, outside, inside, all of them. This time I need this particular one which says what? Now watch this. When I select bottom border, let me zoom out first. Did you see the line it created for me? Please, can you see it? So I've created a line, and this is a border under the text I selected. So I can use this to create this nice line to help me. Okay, now watch something. Under my software engineering, we say that this is the same as computer. Now, do you see what I'm typing? Now, I can see that what I'm typing is close to the line. Can you see that it's too close to the line? It doesn't make it look good. It doesn't make my formatting okay. I feel it. It's not looking good. So how can I separate this from the line? I don't want to use enter. I don't have to use enter. When I use enter, enter will create the gap will be too much. Did you see that? When I click in front of this, remember we use enter to break a line. So I can come before the text and press enter to break my line. But the gap is too wide, so I don't need it. Who can tell me how to solve this problem now? Who can tell me what to do? Okay, I should highlight it first. I'm highlighting the whole line. And what will I do next? I'll use paragraph spacing. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to add space before paragraph or after paragraph? Pardon? No, not after paragraph. Look at what I have selected. With what I have selected, let me come here and select this. You will see that over here it says what? Because there's no space, I will add it because I need it. So now after adding that space, it looks perfect. It looks what? Perfect. Please, can you see this? It looks great. So this paragraph spacing thing can really disturb you and can be just the secret to making your work look okay or spoiling your work. So you have to understand the paragraph spacing. Are you with me? Okay. All right. What I'm typing doesn't make sense. Don't think I'm typing well. Please, I can type well like this, but this time I'm just typing anything because I'm talking. Now, you see all the text I have added because they are part of the same paragraph. They are not separated. They have been glued together. So when the line moves to the next line, it doesn't create any space because it is still part of the paragraph. So the paragraph spacing is created when Microsoft Word detects that you have pressed enter. When you press enter, you see that they've detected that you want to break your line from the paragraph. Sometimes they don't even know whether it's a paragraph or just a line. So whether you have a line or a paragraph, when you press enter, they will add something there for you. They will add something there for you. So this paragraph and line spacing, you need to understand them. Okay. Let me create a table here, and I'll get a table in insert table. Let me give it 4 columns and 4 rows. Now watch this table. Please, can you see this table? Okay, later we'll learn about tables. Last time we talked about merging, right? Now watch this. I can highlight these 2 cells. And merge them. So you can right click and select merge cells. Can you see it? Good. So when you merge a cell, you have actually joined them together. Now watch this. What if this cell I have created here, this big cell I have created here, I don't need the border to the left and on top? What if I don't need them? I can only solve that by using the new tool we just saw. This borders thing can be used to do so many things. Now you can see that several of them are selected. I want to use them to control this particular table, and I want to clear off just this line and the one here, so that my table will look a certain way. Sometimes you may have to do that. So I will come here and remove left border. You see that the left one is gone. And I'll go back there again, remember, and I'll remove which one? So now watch this. Do you see what I've done? So if you have to create something like this, this is the only way you can do it. Okay, what if I want to make this Okay, what if I want to remove the line here, the one inside here? I'm not merging, I just want to clear that line. Okay, let me just click inside this box and come here. Okay, let me see. When I select this, I can use the bottom border here to clear that line. So by selecting bottom border, that line is gone. So I've removed what is at the bottom of where I am. Remember where your text cursor is. When you select remove bottom border, then it will clear it. Now you have to look at the difference. You see that top is selected. Let me zoom in well. You see that top is selected, left is selected, right is selected, but the bottom, is it selected? If it's not selected and you click on it, it means you are adding. Let me add it. You see that it is showing again. But if it is selected and you click on it, it means you are doing what? You are removing. You see that it's selected now. When I click on it, now I'm removing. You see that it's gone. Okay. Let's check again. What else is there? We have the right border there, right? Let's remove the right border. So you see that I've cleared the right border. Now because these two are not merged, clearing right has cleared only this. When I come here, I can still type in the next cell here. Okay, watch this. Let me highlight these 4 cells. Have you seen these 4 cells? I'm highlighting them. I'll come here and select inside borders. Clear the inside borders. Let's see what has happened. You see that they are all gone. I've not merged. These are not merged cells. They are 4 cells. They are still 4. But the borders are gone. This tool is used on borders, to remove borders or to format borders. Let me come here to this last column. Let me highlight these 3 and come here, and this time I'm going to do something else. I'm going to select borders and shading. Do you see this? Borders and shading. This is actually where we control the borders. If you know what to do, you can see all of them here and you can work on them. Next time I'll come to over there. Now do you see the width? If I want to make them thicker, I can choose something like this here. Click OK, and you see that I have thickened the borders. So the rest here are not thick, but the ones I selected, I've made them thicker. So when it comes to borders, when you have tables and you want to manipulate the borders, that is where you can get all the features and settings you want to get your table to look exactly as you want. Are you with me? If you are given an assignment to create something like this, let me open something and show you. You are given an assignment to create something like this, and you are supposed to work with several tables. I mean, do a lot in tables. You have to understand, you see here I've used a lot of shading and I have a lot of borders. You can only control these borders by applying the borders that way. So you see that I've shaded some areas. I use a shading. Remember the shading I showed you? That is what is used. So when you have a real work to do, you now have to use your shading. Here you see the backgrounds are, the background for the header here is black. This work I did it in Microsoft Word, so it's not Excel, this is Word. So I applied the shading where I needed, and you can see my borders. All right, so let's move on to the next item. When you look here, we have the next one called what? Please, did you see them? What is it called? Bullets. So you need to know how to apply bullets, and bulletin usually goes with the next one. Bulletin usually goes with the next one here. The next one here says what? Numbering. So you are either using bullets or numbering. And these two are used on lists. These two are used on lists. One is used on what we call unordered lists, and the numbering is used for ordered lists. There are two types of lists. We have unordered lists, and that one we use a bullet for, and we have ordered lists. Did you get me? I'm creating a new page. I want to break the page. How can I break the page? Control plus enter. Okay, so let's create a list of countries. So over here I'm creating list of countries. Please, have you seen this? Okay, so to make my work faster, let me highlight this and apply one of the styles here. I want to apply title style. So you can see that I'm already using these styles. So I'm applying title style, and when I click on it, it has applied the style. This is not something like it's not something like I increase the font size myself, I give it the font weight myself, I apply the styling myself. This is a preset style. So you click on it and the style will be applied for you. So this is called title style. All right, now we want to create list of countries, and in 2016 they don't underline. In 2013, if you use the title style, they will underline the whole line for you. But I like that feature, so let me apply the line myself. Remember how I underlined the entire line? So I'll come to borders and I'll choose bottom border, and I'll get the line I'm looking for. Do you see this line? This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so list of countries. I want us to list some countries. Ghana, Togo, Germany, Benin, Nigeria, India, Iraq, Ethiopia. Please, Kumasi is not a country. Brazil. All right. Have you heard of this country? There's a country. Have you heard of this country? There's a country called Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. Not Abidjan. No. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. You've not heard Azerbaijan? No. The first time I heard Azerbaijan, it was in a football match, and I heard one country playing against Azerbaijan. And when I heard Azerbaijan, I thought you were saying Asamoah. I said, which country is playing with Asamoah? Then I checked it well, and I realized that it's not Asamoah. It's Azerbaijan. So let me go online and search for the country called Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. Have you seen it? Azerbaijan. So this country, I've checked on them and I'm happy I know Azerbaijan. It's around Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Pakistan. Okay, have you heard those Stan countries? It's in that area. Yeah, so we have Uzbekistan and several Stan countries. So it's a nation. All right, so if you like maps, you will see Azerbaijan. Let's see where they are on the map. So Azerbaijan is here. It's after Russia, before Iraq. That means football helps us to know a lot of things, right? So this Azerbaijan. So what is this? Which map is this? Anyway, let's continue with our work. We are not doing geography today. All right. So this list, when you are asked to list countries, you have to ask yourself, this list, is it supposed to be an ordered list or unordered? When you are just asked to list countries, you just have to create a list, right? Now, if I want to order them, what it means is that I'm going to use a numbering. Do you remember numbering? The numbering here, when you use numbering is going to give you an ordered list. An ordered list means there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With this particular list, I don't need them to be in order. Why should Ghana be 1, Germany be 3, Benin be 4? What's the meaning of the numbers? So if the numbering is not necessary, then you don't need numbering. You need what? Bullets. If they have done something and Ghana won, then Ghana is number 1. And let's say Togo is number 2. Germany is number 3. If it's something that we are ordering, hello. If it is something that we want to know who is first, or which item is first and which item is second, or which item is third or fourth or fifth, then the numbering will be meaningful. So it can be possible that we can number countries, but we will not even call them list of countries. When we say list, it means we just want to get a list of countries. So this is supposed to be an unordered list. So with unordered lists, you just have to come and select the first one here, which is what? And bullets will show them to you this way. This is better. This is much better because it is still a list, but we don't need a numbering. So anytime you are creating a list, you have to ask yourself whether you are supposed to number the list or just list. If you are just listing, then you need bullets. And with a bullet, we have several styles. We have several styles. So let me click on the arrow here. Have you seen the arrow here? Yes. You see several styles. So we have bullet library. You can use this. If you want this one, you can use it to get your style like this. Please, have you seen it? Yes. Your bullet will show this way. If you don't like this one, you can change it and use this. Have you seen this? Or you can use this. Yes, but for official documents, formal documents, don't use any stylish bullet. Use the black one for formal documents. Please, are you with me? Yes. For formal documents, you use the black one. Now, if you want to create a sub list, a list item under one item, watch what I mean. Under Ghana, let's say I want to list the regions in Ghana. So I press enter. Watch this. You are supposed to learn this. When I hit enter, you can see that a new space has been created for another item. But this time, I don't want that item to be a next item. I want it to be a sub item. So for it to be a sub item, watch what I'll do. I'll press the tab key on my keyboard. So when you press the tab key on your keyboard, it will move it into it and give it a sub. So this sub here, I want to list the regions. So we have Accra in Ghana. And you can see that it is giving me A. This A is wrong because this A is an ordered list. When you come to the ordered list, we have 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C. Those are used for the ordering. I didn't ask them to order for me, so I'm even surprised they are showing me this. Under normal circumstances, they are supposed to show me the empty circle, but they are showing me a, maybe because of a previous setting I've done. You are not supposed to see this. So let me change it from a list. So you see that it has moved to numbering section. You can see numbering is shaded. Okay, so I want to come here. So it was supposed to select this for me. Usually this is used for sub lists. So this is how it was supposed to look. Please, can you see this? So this is for a sub list. So let me continue. Accra, we have Kumasi, we have which one? And which one? Which one? What? Okay. It's okay. Let's end here. Let's end it here. Okay. Let's move to Nigeria and create sub-lists of states in Nigeria. Do you know Nigeria is a United States? Yes. Ghana is not United States. Nigeria is United States. So they have several states within the country or the nation. So I'm going to Nigeria. I'll press enter to get another item. Now, when you press enter, they will assume that you are going to add another item to your list. But if that is not your idea, you want a sub list, then you need to press a key on your keyboard. What is that key? The tab key. So you press the tab key and it will move in and give you a sub list. And I'm surprised I'm getting an ordered list again. This is not supposed to be. But I'm happy I'm seeing it because I can correct it for you to see how to correct things. So I'm happy I'm seeing this so that I can teach you. All I want to do is teach. So let me change it to this. So remember that when you are working on formal documents, we don't use stylish bullets. We use simple bullets. So Nigeria, give me some of the states you know in Nigeria. Please, one by one. Easy, easy, easy. We have Lagos State. Which state? Pardon? Please, I want the popular ones that everyone knows, please. We have Lagos State, Abuja. Don't you know Abuja? Everyone knows Abuja, so I want the popular ones. Listen. Okay. You know what? I don't want to confuse my online viewers, so okay, Edo State. I'm sure we have Edo State. Is it Edo like this? Yes. Okay, it's okay. I beg you. All right. So you can see that I have designed something beautiful here with bullets, right? So we have main bullet and sub bullet. So remember how to create a sub. Let me create an ordered list very fast. Ordered list. Now, I want to apply title style and I want to put the underline there. Remember I chose bottom border, right? And what I want to do is that I want this ordered list to be in title case. I want to change the case to title case because the first one I use, oh, this also uppercase. Okay, let me leave it in uppercase. Okay, let me change all of them to title case now that I've mentioned it. So to change to title case, you need to come to change case. Over here we have what? Change case. And title case, Microsoft Word calls it capitalize each word. So when I use title case, you see I made a mistake here. Ordered. It's supposed to be like this. This is called title case. Let me change the first one to title case. So I highlight it, then I move to where I change the cases, and I'll choose capitalize each word. This is for title case. Now, when we say title case, let me change this to small off. When we say title case, title cases are used for proper nouns, like someone's name. You can't type someone's name in small letters. The first letter is supposed to be capital. So your first name will start with the capital. Your last name, the first letter will be capital. So title case means the first letters must be capital. When you check ordered list, which ones are capital? O is capital, and this is title case. So when you are titling things, you use title case. We don't use lowercase for titles. You can use this as a title. Okay, fine. I want an ordered list, something that is supposed to be in order. Give me something that I can put in order. Order means the order is important. If the order is not important in the list, don't use numbers. Okay, so let's say there was an examination and we are checking the position, right? So let me change the title to exam scores. Exam scores. No. Okay, don't worry. Let's say exam scores and number 1. Now, you see that when you press 1 and dot on your keyboard, Word automatically detects that you are creating a list. So they will push it to the right a little for you. So that's what has happened now. So give me someone's name. Perfect. Amwakun. And I want to give a grade. So let me press tab. Watch this. I'm going to use tab to give a grade. Let's say 95%. Enter. I have the next person. Give me a name. Ayiram. Ayiram what? Joe. Okay, now I want to give the score. What I'll do, I'll press tab, and let's say I'll give this 92%. Now, the reason why I'm using tab is because I want the scores to be in line. I want the scores to be in line. Without tab, it won't work. You need to know when to use tab. We don't use, if you want to create something like this, we don't use space. No. That's awful. Okay, give me one more name. Sambet what? Okay, so watch this. I want to give his score. I'm not supposed to press space. This is wrong and wrong. Now, if I use space, it will waste my time and it will not be in line. And it will be difficult to align them. Even if it will be in line, it will be difficult. When you use tab, it will move to a block. Another tab will move to another block. Later, I'll talk about tabs. So I give somebody 89%. I need 2 more. Caleb what? So how do I give the score? Tab. Now when you press tab, it will move to a block. So you have to check whether it is on the block you are looking for. It doesn't mean you are supposed to press 2. If you have to press 3 before you get there, you have to press 3. So you check and press it. All right, so okay, give me one more. Elizabeth. Elizabeth what?
No, say.
It's okay. So okay, fine. So do you see that this is a list and it's an ordered list? The numbering, is the numbering important? Excellent. If the numbering is important, don't highlight and go and select bullets. Bullet here is meaningless. Bullet is what here? It's meaningless here because we want to know who is first and who is second. We really want to know. So if you want to know the order, then you have to use numbering. And the numbering, we have more options here. You can use numbering with one dot. Please, can you see this?
Yes.
Or one bracket, one with a parenthesis, closing bracket. Can you see this? If you want this, if you don't want this, you can use I. You can use ABC. You can use ABC like this. You can use ABC like these are all ordered lists. Please, can you see?
Yes.
For this particular work, I want the 1 dot, 2 dots. I like this. Please, are you following?
Yes.
We are learning, and after we practice all these things, we will use them in real works. So you have to understand all these things. So when you are asked to create a list, you shouldn't be asking, where do I find this? Where do I find that? That's what I'm teaching you now. Please, are you with me? Okay. For me, I've been working on documents for decades, so I know what is important and what to stress on and what is not important. Okay, so I think we are almost through. So let me be fast here. Okay, over here we have what we call multi-level listing. It's just like the multi-level listing we've done here. So if you want any multi-level listing, you can use them. Okay, I think I now know why I got. Okay, don't worry. So these are multi-level listing. If you'll be doing anything like this and they are numbering, it's supposed to be numbered, you can come and select one of these. When you select it, it will move back to numbering, so they work together. We'll try it later. Now let's look at the indents. These indents are very useful. Hello.
Hi.
These are called indents, and the indents are used to create blocks of text. And it is the same as, watch this. Let me press enter, control enter to create a new page, and I want to be on this line here and click on my first indent forward, increase indent. Okay, do you see what has happened? It moved one block. Let me press backspace on my keyboard to go back. Let me use one of the pages we created before to explain this. Okay, let's see if this page will work. Let me use just, let me see. Did we create a page with a lot of text? Okay, let me use this page. Okay, now let me highlight the text here, just the text here, and work with the indent. Now the indent, we have a top indent here and the main one here. If you want to move the two, you use the bottom one. Let me move this to number 2 here. And after doing that, you see that this entire text here has moved to that margin, or it has created its own margin. And at the end, is ending with the rest, but I can come here and tell the ending indent here, this right indent here, to move to, let me give it 13. So now watch this. Even though we have our margins, I have selected one particular text and I've instructed the text to have its own starting point and its own end point. And watch this now. You can see that the entire left line of this text, they are in line, right? Yes. Watch this. I'll come and take the top indent under the left indent here and move the top one here. When you move the top one controls the first line of that block or that text, that group of text. So most all the time, the top one here is used to control the first line. And the bottom one here is used to control both of them. When you move this, the two will move. You see the two moving? The two will move. So we use this to indent text. So indenting the text simply means you want to move it within the page in a certain block on its own. So that's what the indent is. So I can increase indent or decrease indent. So you saw what I was doing by increasing and decreasing. You can control them with the buttons here. So these are indents. When you need it, you will know, and these things you understand them when you miss them in real life and you use them. All right, we are almost done. I think the remaining two, okay, let me just talk about one of them. Okay, now watch this. After the indent, we have something here called sort. Do you see sort? Yes. Remember we did sorting in Excel, right? So let me highlight this here, all the list we have here, and I'm going to click on the sort. When I click on the sort, I'm supposed to see a sort text dialog box, and this is telling you to sort by paragraph, and the type is text, and you choose either ascending or what. Let me choose ascending and click OK, and let's see what will happen to our text. Okay, so what is happening here is that it has rearranged them, but the problem here is that it didn't recognize the sub lists. Okay, I didn't even add Ghana. Okay, let me clear our sub lists and use a sorting for you so that you understand it better. So these are a list of countries. Let me highlight all of them, come to sort and sort ascending and click OK. So when I do that, watch what has happened. You'll see that it has sorted them in alphabetical order, right? Yes. Okay. So if we had a country starting with A, like Azerbaijan, after sorting in ascending, it's going to list them. So Azerbaijan will be number 1, and it will move from A to Z. Remember the A to Z sorting. Okay, so you can do that here. So that is a sorting, and this particular one is used when you are formatting and you want to see these characters. When I click on this, you see that we are going to see the characters everywhere. This particular character here is called the paragraph mark. So we show and hide paragraph mark. It will not appear in your printing, but it shows you where you have paragraphs and other marks. Do you see the page break we created? So this is telling me I have a page break here. So if you want to inspect a document and check where you have, let me read the text here. It says show paragraph marks and other hidden formatting words. symbols. This is especially useful for advanced layout tasks. So usually in simple documents you will not need it, but when you are really formatting a big document, let's say a book, you are working on a serious project, you may need it to show you where paragraph markings and page breaks and other section breaks and other things are. It will not appear in printing, it is just displaying for you to see and know how to do your correction and formatting well. When you click on it again, they all disappear. So I'm just showing it to you, and I think the styles here, I should reserve it for the next lesson because it is important to understand it better. So next time I will start from the styles and we'll talk about heading 1. You see heading 1, we have heading 2, we have heading 3. If you want more, you can click here. So we have heading 1, heading 2, and other headings. We have title, we have subtitle, we have list and other things. This is important to understand, and we don't just select them for fun. Sometimes when you select them, you are using it to structure your documents in a special way so that your document can be referenced later. So later when you want to do references, the system will use the headings and the styles you use to know how to reference your document. Do you know that if you have a book and you want table of content, Microsoft Word can create table of content for you without you creating it yourself? Microsoft Word can create your document, your table of content for you when you use the right headings. So all heading 1s will be chapters. Heading 2 will be subtopics. Then heading 3 will follow. So your table of content, Microsoft Word will design all of them for you. It can only know how to do it based on the headings and the styles you applied. So I want you to understand this. So I'll leave it for the next lesson. I'll talk about it, then we'll move on to something else. Please, do you have any question for me? I'm ending the lesson here. Next time we'll continue. Now I want to save changes. I don't want to save as. I want to save changes. So I'll go to File and I will see Save and Save As. Which of the two should I use? Okay. So when I click Save, it will save, and Save will save changes or update my work. I don't have to use Save As. If I use Save As will give me the dialog box again to change my settings. I don't want to change any settings. I just want to update. So I've updated my work and it's done. All right. So thank you for joining me in this lesson. If you want more, make sure you come next time to this channel and get other videos. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to this channel so that you'll be notified. Also click on the bell icon and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. So I'll keep on uploading videos till this topic is done. But if you're interested in other topics in IT, I post videos every day on different topics. Yesterday I posted a video on mathematics, and I post videos on other topics in IT such as networking, graphic design, software programming, software engineering, mobile app development, cybersecurity, and other areas. So if you're interested in IT, then this is going to be the best channel for you to study everything you want in IT. So thank you for joining me. I care about you.